Hey guys, welcome back to Linda's Resin Room. So we're going to do two different projects in this video because I'm glutton for punishment, I suppose. The first one is this jar mold that I got from the resin mold express resin molds box. I'm going to make it. I'm going to paint it up. There are flowers and leaves and things that go around this, same way with the lid. So my flowers, I'm going to paint Venus, this little piggy, pigment powder. For the centers, I'm going to use the dark brown Pearl X by Jacquard pigment powder. And then I'm going to use Green Day by Eye Candy for the leaves. And then, I don't know what color I'll fill it up with, but we'll figure that out later. And then, I have these roses that I dried out that my husband had got me for Valentine's Day. And I have the little boxes that you do night lights. So I'm going to get that, hopefully in one piece down in here. Use some deep pour resin and get that going. And I will put it in the debubbler once I fill that up. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put you all on a time lapse as I paint this mold. So I'll see you guys after I get this mold painted up and some resin mixed up. I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so we've got all that painted up. I didn't do the best cleanup job. That mold is very thin. And you can hardly tell where the design is. It's probably a mold that would be easier painted up with paint pens afterwards. Because I don't think it's going to look very good. I have got 8 ounces of resin here, 240 grams. I'm going to go ahead and put my color in. Now, I'm using Sand Yellow by Eye Candy. This color has forever been on clearance with Eye Candy. And I don't know why. Because I think it is a really pretty color. Let me clean my stick off. I think it's like $7 or something. And they're normally quite a bit more than that. Which, if you do use Eye Candy, there is a link and a code in the description where you can get 10% off their products, along with a bunch of other products too. There's discount codes in there for you guys. But I like this yellow, and I think it's going to look really pretty behind the pink flowers because they're very light, and that green is really light. If I do a dark color, those flowers are probably going to turn silver. And I don't want my flowers silver. So I'm hoping if I use this Sand Yellow, then, I'll scrape that off. I'm just going to use that much. I'm hoping if I use the Sand Yellow, then you'll be able to see my colors really well. Okay. I hadn't mixed my resin yet, because I wanted to put the color in, and then I'm going to put it in the debubbler. And you know, we got to have a little sparkle. So I got the crushed crystal here, since it's already sitting out, begging to be used. Let's put a little bit of that in there. A lot of times with the mica powders, it's a little harder to see the crystal, but we'll see. But yeah, I bought 2 of these colors because I like them so well, and I didn't want to run out. So I thought, if it's on clearance, does that mean they're doing away with the color? I don't know. But it's been on clearance ever since I've been using Eye Candy products. And I've bought all of their pigment pastes over time. Now they've got a new brand, something Goose. Don't really care much for that brand. And they've started selling molds. I do have a couple of their molds. I think they're a little more on the expensive side. Okay, can we see our crystal? A little bit. I'm going to add a little more. Like I said, I find that you have to add a little bit more when you use a pigment paste. Which I got a lot of resin too. I could have just not added enough. Okay, I want you guys to see this color though. Scrape my sides here. Make sure I don't pull up no big clump of crystal when I pull this up. And then I'm going to put you on pause and finish mixing. Isn't that a pretty color? And it looks a little more yellow on the screen than I think it does in person. Not quite as bright as what the screen shows it. Alright guys, I'm going to finish mixing this up and I'll see you back when it's time to pour. Hey guys, so I just finished mixing. You can see the bubbles popping up, but I've decided I'm going to add some gold super sparkle in here since it is a yellow. I can see the silver a little, but I think this gold is really going to pop. And I'm not going to put this in the debubbler because of it's a pigment paste down in there. These bubbles are going to pop pretty easy on their own. Usually they do. But I am going to put you on a brief pause so I can mix up some deep pour for that one. And that'll give this one time to sit and for those bubbles to release. Now, when you add sparkle, make sure you scrape your stick off because there seems to always be some that gets stuck on the stick, which I need to scrape the paste off anyways. But you don't want clumps of crushed crystal floating around in your piece. You'll end up like that turtle I made, where it had two big spots on the back of him. And I'm still not sure what I want to do with him. I want to do something with him. Put something on there. A ladybug maybe. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Alright. We're going to let that, and I just noticed I don't have my mic on. Sorry guys if you can't hear me. And the heater kicked on. Alright, I'm going to let that degas. I'm going to mix up some deep pour, and I'll be back in just a second. Alright guys, if you hear that noise, that is because I have a deep pour resin. I mixed up 6 ounces. It's a 2-to-1. I did 2 ounces of part B and 4 ounces of part A. It is in the debubbler. Now, I have let this set for a few minutes, so let's try to, I'm going to see if I can fill this up and then move it over, because I'm going to need access to that here in just a second. Let's see if we can get this to pour right down in there. I don't want bubbles down in that little tip. And I don't want to have to squeeze it because I got that mica powder down in there. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can move this over just a little bit more. And you know what? I think I see some bubbles around the edge. Let me see if I can get this to where it's not going to drip. And see if we can work those out. I'm just going to, I've seen a bubble come up out of the center. I'm probably going to have to take a dotting tool and go around this if I can't get those bubbles out. It looks like they're coming out, mostly. I see one right there. Can't tell if that is a bubble Or what? We'll just take the dotting tool just in case and go around it anyways. If I didn't put this in the debubbler, I am risking micro bubbles around there, because that's where those micro bubbles like to hide, is right under the lip. I don't have to worry about the piece itself because there's no lip on it. It's just straight up. Now let's finish filling this to the top. Don't want to overflow. Okay, he's slightly domed. Now, fingers crossed, I have enough to fill this up. I mixed up 8 ounces. Guys, it's probably going to take more than that. Oh no, my resin's overflowed. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, my deep borer resin, I would put 3 ounces in 2 8-ounce cups. So I thought 3 ounces in an 8-ounce cup wouldn't overflow, but I was wrong. So, Demolding Va deep pour resin. I'm not sure it likes a debubbler, but I've got it back in there. It is now in an 18-ounce cup, and I was able to save 5 ounces of it. So I did lose an ounce from it spilling over and going everywhere. It makes a huge mess. You'll use part of your resin and yeah, a lot of cleanup. So I'm going to watch it very carefully now, and I'm going to mix up, gosh, I did 8 ounces for that big thing. How many more? 4? Do you guys think 4 is enough for that? I'm just going to clean this stick off real quick. I've got such a mess. I've got resin everywhere. Alright guys, I'm going to mix up 4 more ounces and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright guys, I think we're back on track. Got my resin mixed up, got 4 ounces. Same resin. Put a little gold sparkle in there. Put a little the silver crushed crystal. And some more of my sand yellow eye candy color. And we're just going to finish filling this up. Okay. I think it can hold just a little bit more. I just slung it everywhere. What did that look? That side there. It just looks kind of, I don't know, misshapen. Okay. If it's not full, pop some more bubbles. And that took 2 ounces. So 10 ounces for this container. Alright. We'll find something for that in a minute. Okay. Now, our rose. I gotta figure out how I can get this thing down in there without tearing it apart. That's my problem. I don't want to tear it apart. I need 2 hands. Can somebody come and help me? And I just tore him apart. If I... Oh, that ain't going to work either. Where? Oh, where? I know this is going to be weird, but maybe if I can... get it down in there this way, and then I can turn it around. And I lost another petal. Let's see if we can get that one out. He's kind of crumbling. I think I've about destroyed him. How does people get those down in there? Okay. Now, we'll straighten him up here in a minute. Get those out of the way. Alright. Need a stick. I need a big one. Those little ones aren't good enough for this big container. Okay, I'm just going to pour slowly. And they say these usually float, which I hope it does a little. I'd like the stem to be in the center. It would make it a whole lot easier to hold him where I want him. Okay. Now let me see if I can manipulate this guy, girl, whatever it is. Here we go. He's got a few bubbles in there. Okay. Still too far over this way, I think. I want him. I need a hold of that stick. Okay. Maybe if I put some more. I'm just going to put what we have left right down in there. So I only got 5 ounces because I lost an ounce in the debubbler. And I'll probably wait to add that last one. Just because I want to get him right where I want him. Okay. Get out what we can since I've done lost some of it. Okay. Now let me turn this cup upside down here. And get my hands cleaned off just a little bit. Yeah, there's no point, I guess, if I'm going to be manipulating this. Okay, I want to get that under there. If I get that under there, I think I can get it to hold in place where I want it. I don't know if these will stay, but... And then... That is perfect. It does have a few bubbles in there. So, let's see if we can... Is that a hair? How in the world did a hair get in there? Alright, guys. Try to see if I can break those bubbles loose. I see one. And it's on a pedal. If I can get it here. Okay. And there's another one down in there. They do not want to break loose. Alright. Alright guys, I'm just going to leave this alone. I'll put my sticks back on it, hold it in place. Well, it's pretty good right there. I think it'll be okay. So I can trim this stick off. Alright, I'll see you back when it's time to add a little more to this. Pop a few of those little bubbles here. Alright guys, I'll see you back in a little bit. Hey guys, so I think most of these are cured up that we can demold. Except for our stuck. He's got a lot of bubbles at the top and he's not completely full. The only way I could get him to hold in place, now this is deep pour so it's not going to be cured today, is I took a silicone mat that I cut up when I want pieces of it. It's like a 3-foot long big mat. And I cut a hole in the center and I put it on there and it held my rose exactly where I wanted it. So we're going to move that. And I'm going to see if I can get this deep pour off. It's stretchy because it overflowed just a little. There we go. All right, let's clean this mat up just a little bit before I start demolding these. Just because I want them to be on a clean surface. I don't want all that resin and stuff to get on my pieces once I take them out of the molds. And all I did was spritz this down with some 99% isopropyl alcohol. And then I just wipe it off. And even the stuck-on bits of resin will come off that way. That glitter's just following me along. Okay, here we go. Now, let's start demolding these pieces. Guess we'll start with the turtle since he doesn't have room to lay on here. I had to lay him to the side. Ooh, he's a little soft. Okay, let's flatten him out. I really thought he was more cured than that. Isn't that a beautiful mold? And let me turn the heat off. That's decided to not kick on all day until now. Okay. Oh, he's very pretty. I love that sparkle. Alright, move him out of the way. Now he's going to have a little cleanup here. You'll see this string that's going across him. And the reason he's got these little cleanup bits is because I reached over to grab something earlier today. And, yeah, I laid into the resin. That's cute. I like the sparkle. Can you guys see the sparkle in there? I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I might take a brown paint pen and go around those little edges and paint him up a little bit. He needs a little something something. Now this is just a little tiny turtle. I found this mold in one of my totes as I was digging through trying to find some of the, oh, he's got eyes, so we can paint his eyes and his mouth and his little shell. He's going to need some cleanup. But, yeah, he's really cute. He's got a little gold sparkle on his back, too. Okay. Move that out of the way. Now, I painted this mold up to use some of the extra, and it's a bouquet. And I thought I'd turn it into a magnet. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Tulips. That'll be a pretty magnet. Now, for our mold from the Resin Molds Express box. I don't want to break the little handle off. Oh, that's cute. The pink is very light. It's almost antique-ish looking, I think. Vintage. Now, this does have some bubbles along the side here. I did notice that. It shrank down in there quite a bit, so it's going to have a lip that's going to have to be trimmed off. Do you see all those bubbles? It's very easy to demold because this is a very thin mold. Like, really thin. I didn't do the greatest job on the inside because the paint got on here when I had to flip it back the right way. This is one of those pieces that's probably going to be a lot easier to paint up after you make it. I'm trying to move it. It doesn't look quite round to me. Well, it fits on there. Okay. It fits good. I love that little handle. But that is the, see all my bubbles? That awful. I might can take some UV maybe and rub around it and get down those little holes and fill them in. But there's too many. I'll have to keep this for myself, which is okay because it's not that pretty of a paint job either, is it? It's a very pretty mold though. See my gold sparkle down in there? Alright. And like I said, it's probably going to be a few days before I can get the rose demolded. But demolding these gives me more space to make more items. Alright guys, I'll take some pictures of these. We'll come back when it's time to, I've still got to put a little more in there. Do you see all those bubbles? I probably can go ahead and take this off. There we go. I'll have to trim all these little stem bits off. Unless I can get them to fold down in there, but I doubt it. But anyways, we will, he's not going to be able to hold much because this side's lower than that side. But this is for me anyways. You can see the sparkle in there. Alright guys, we'll come back when it's time to demold that piece. I'll see you guys then. Hey guys, so this has cured up. So let's see if we can get this demolded. Just going to go around the edge here. I do have some bubbles along the top. Oh. The rest of it was fine, but the top did have a few little bubbles. But this is just for me anyways, so. Oh, isn't that pretty? You see the bubbles I'm talking about? Now if I can get this to turn back the right side. Oh. Okay. Now I need to trim that stick off. And it is covered in resin. I don't know if wire cutters, I don't know if that will cut it or not. Oh, that did great. All right. Now I will sand that down and put that on a base for a light for myself, of course. I think I put too much sparkle in there. All right, guys. I'll see you back for the next video. I'll see you then.